what drew you to study at Bath?
I mean, the CIPS and the CILT qualifications was definitely like a winning factor for me. Bath was one of the few unis that offer both qualification upon graduating the master's course. I'd be a qualified member of CIPS and CILT when I graduate, which I feel will, well, honestly, I feel like it will look great on my resume.
So I wanted some kind of broader business skills. I've never done anything that's business related. I didn't do economics or anything at A level, which is probably my biggest regret. So I wanted to kind of learn a bit more about how companies operate.
Was there any particular unit that you were interested in?
I mean, I would have to highlight the practicum, It's like the most interesting unit for me and probably like a unique point for the Uni of Bath. I didn't find a unit like that from any other unis that would like allow you to work and consult with like real life companies such as Rapid Fire.
How's the working being, not being able to physically be there?
I mean, it's different. I guess there's pros and cons really. Like, it is obviously way more convenient. If I was going into uni every day, I'd have to, get the bus in or whatever. I guess it's difficult not seeing people in person, but obviously it does also mean that people do have more time to kind of give you video calls and stuff. So I don't know, it's all a balance, isn't it?
When you first started facing your practicum, what were the initial steps that you took?
There was kind of a difference between attacking the project on an academic side and just applying some principles and what have you, or actually being useful. And I just felt that if we could find issues that were actually troubling Craig and then try and apply the academic side to it, then that would probably be the most useful approach.
Well, what would you say was the most interesting thing that you found that surprised you?
We were trying to find out whether PPE and products related would still be viable post-COVID or like post-vaccine. Mm-hmm. And the answers are quite interesting. In the customer's view, although they do see PPE being viable, demand would naturally dwindle as society goes back to normal. But when we asked the suppliers, they were very optimistic that demand would continue rising. I feel this is like a classic case of a bullwhip effect, where customers' consumption rate does not like actually reflect their demand.
From an interest perspective, I think actually speaking to the customers and the suppliers and finding out what they were doing was quite a good insight.
Which bit of the project did you enjoy the most?
I guess probably for me it was the interviews. I think I learned a lot from it, got some very useful data, and met all kind of people. It was probably the most enjoyable for me. Yeah.
One out-and-out experience was the presentation, to be honest, because it was actually really nice to kind of share our findings and get such positive feedback.
Are you happy with your results and the way that you reacted to the project?
Dude, yeah, I wouldn't change anything. Everything that was supposed to happen happened. I mean, I think I gained a lot of knowledge especially working so closely with Craig, who was very knowledgeable, and he kind of helped us guide us in our project. I think the experience I have from the practicum will definitely put my foot through the door of certain companies, as my team and I have applied like knowledge and skills we learned from the course on this project.
Interviews kind of springs to mind for that. That's probably another time where we faced challenges. It actually aligned well, but I think if I could go back and do anything again, I'd probably spend another week or so just preparing exactly what we want and who we want it from.
And if a student who is about to study on their practicum came up to you and asked for advice, what would you tell them?
First, I would say work well with your practicum sponsors, aka for me was Craig. Don't be afraid to ask questions. My second thing would be work well with your team. We help each other and we solve things together. And lastly, to carry your own weight, because everybody is carrying theirs, so you gotta put in effort too.
I'm quite an advocate for working early and then being able to reflect on what you've done. So obviously get the work done prior to the deadline, and extra marks, the extra analysis, where you're going to get the benefit is when you look over what you've done and then you critically analyse it and come out with better solution. I think with respect to the practicum though, I'd say work early, analyse, and regular contact with the academics as well.